Hello friends, welcome to the channel. So if you are a beginner or a working professional, this series is going to help you with all the resources that you need to learn uh, for your job, especially related to SQL Server. So, and if you are interested, please keep following this series. There will be new videos every day and every week. So we can discuss from beginner level to more advanced level, starting from basics, how you can write queries, what is SQL, where it is used, and different SQL tips. And also towards the end, when we move towards the end of this series, you will be able to write good SQL queries and understand the logic behind it. And also you will be able to performance tune the existing queries. And you also learn how to solve many different complex problems that we face in enterprise systems. So please keep following this series. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do follow. And we'll have more discussions in the future, not only SQL, we'll go into different technologies available in the market. If you are a developer, or if you want to become a software developer, especially a backend software developer, this channel will help you to uh, build your career in that area. So please do follow, please do subscribe, and without delaying, we can start our SQL series. So there will be multiple videos coming into this playlist. You can follow this playlist and see if you have an updated video every day or every week. I will try to post one video per day, if not at least 2 or 3 videos in a week, so that we can cover SQL Server about 60 days. We move into the next technology. So why I pick SQL Server is because SQL Server is the most widely used technology for storing the data, especially when it comes to relational databases. So where is SQL Server used? If you see, there are a lot of industries that may use SQL. Basically, this data will be stored in the database in tables. So when you want to retrieve the data from the uh, table, so either from the .NET code or Java code or Python code, you will have to write a query so that you get appropriate data from the database, right? So, so what is SQL? The first question it comes to mind is what is SQL? So the simple, like we say SQL as a structured query language, but especially if you say structured query language, it has more deeper meaning in it. Why? Because you are writing the query in a way that you are filtering, sorting, and also you are trying to um, give conditions to your query so that you can get particular set of records from the database, not everything. So let's say you have a customer John and you have to find out his salary in the last 10 months in 2024. So you should be able to get that exact amount by doing the math calculations, by filtering the database records. We need to understand where the SQL really helps us in our daily life. So let's say if you have an Excel sheet with a lot of data in it, let's say 10,000 records, and now you visually can go and filter the records by putting a filter option in the Excel. But let's assume that is like 1 million records. And how do you filter that 1 million records? So you will not be able to do that in Excel sheet because the Excel sheet is for less memory. So you will not be able to handle that much memory because the Excel, the file itself may be, in gigabytes in size. So for that purpose, we need a database where you store all the records in database pages. We call it indexing. And using the indexes, you go into that particular record query it, get it, and if you want to do some manipulations, we can do that. So all that stuff happens in SQL Server. So SQL, you have different SQL providers as well. For example, you have Oracle, we have MySQL, we have Microsoft SQL. So we are focused on Microsoft SQL, which is developed by Microsoft. And if you want to become a .NET developer or anything of sort Microsoft shop, then you need to focus on MSSQL, which is Microsoft SQL Server. So I'm trying to explain Microsoft SQL Server as a latest version that we have right now, and we'll go over like one by one and try to figure out how to write a query, what is a query, what are all things involved in the query. So our main focus is like we have different kinds of areas in SQL Server. So for example, we have DML, DDL, DCL. The other one is DCL. So you can skip DCL for now, but DML is the main um, area where we want to focus as a developer. Sometimes you will be able to work on DDL as well, but a DM we will have to focus more and try to learn DML a lot. Okay, so DML involves select, insert, update, delete, which is nothing but select is nothing but for exist you want to see the existing data, you want to get the existing data, then you use the select command. This will be an example. So this is the table name. You will write select star from when you say star, this is hash trick in coding language. So select star from users is nothing but you are saying get all the records from users table. Similarly, you have an insert where you will add a new record into the table. So this will be example query for insert. You will say insert into table name. So this is the table name. This is the command. So you will say insert into this table. What are the columns you are using? So if you see Excel sheet, you have columns with names on the top, right? So similar way we have columns. So it's a one record will have all the columns, right? So name, email. So you are trying to insert values for name and email, and the values are John and John email. So this is how you can add multiple columns like an Excel sheet, and also you can add different, thousands of rows with the different users. Okay, so that is insert, creating a new record, selecting a existing record. So this is an update query, which is nothing but if you want to update this query, if you want to update this record, for example, you have while inserting, you have made a mistake. Say instead of John at email.com, you said like you missed something, some letters in John. So now you want to correct it. So you can just correct the email alone, or else you can replace the email. So how you change the existing data? It is using update query. So this is an example for update where you are saying update table, users table, your set. I mean, set is nothing but which column you want to update. Your set email new at the rate new email. This is the new value that we want to insert, update. So we are updating, we are giving the new email ID where user ID equal to 1. So if you know the user ID, so this user ID will be automatically created if we have an identity column. We will discuss more on that. So if it is ID 1, John is assigned with ID 1, then you say this is where condition, this is your filtering criteria. So it says update users set email and then where ID equal to 1. So now this is to update our existing record. So if you want to delete the existing record, what you do is you will use the delete command where you will say delete from table where ID equal to 1. So that's how you delete a record. So similar way, you have data definition language. So this is nothing but to create a table or to delete a table. So and or also you can use this to create a database. So database is nothing but a group of tables. So first you will say create database and alter database or create table, alter table. So you will say drop table, truncate table. So this there are different things that you can do under DDL. So for now, you just remember. So when you want to create a new table with a new data, what you use the keyword is, this is an example query where you say create table, table name, and what are the columns you need, what is the type of column. So type of column is nothing but what kind of a data you are trying to insert into the table. And so for to similar to update, we have an alter. So this is modifying the structure of the table. So if you want to replace this, let's say you only have two columns initially when you create a table, and you want to add one more column which is age. So now you say alter table and table name, then add age, type of int. So something like that. So and if you want to delete that table, what you do, you say drop table and table name. That's it. So similarly, truncate. Truncate is nothing but the faster version of deleting all the data, entire data in the table. So there is a delete table option also, but truncate is more efficient. We'll discuss why truncate is better than delete, and sometimes why delete is better than truncate. It depends on the scenario that we are using. So similarly, so our main focus in this series is DML and DDL. Okay, going to the next. So why you have to focus on SQL? Because like you let's say you are a data engineer, or you are a big data analyst. So most of the data you are going to analyze is that it will be a structured data or maybe unstructured data that you eventually will convert or transform the unstructured data into structured data. So finally, when you have a structured data, you will end up with some tables or some NoSQL databases where you will have pages of information. So here, most likely, you will be end up in 90% of the time, you will end up with relational databases, and relational databases always involves the SQL, which is a structured query language. So if you learn SQL, you feel more confident. This is easy to learn, and you will feel very enthusiastic to learn more. I mean, different technologies in the future. So this is easy to learn, easy to cover, easy to understand, and easy to execute. So there are other tools like BigQuery, Snowflake's. BigQuery is essentially from Google Cloud, and you have Snowflake's, AWS Redshift. But enterprise version, all the enterprises, most of the enterprises uses SQL Server. If you are a backend developer, then you will be more likely to end up with SQL Server. That's why it's very important to understand SQL from the basics. And next thing we want to notice is, so remember I explained you DML and DD, but most of the time as a developer, you will be ending up with writing DML queries. Do operations like inserts, updates, deletes, and automations, manipulating the database records, creating the database records, moving data from one database to other database. These are all involves DML queries, data manipulation language. DDL is like 20% of the time. So let's say if you want to create a new, if you are working on a new project and you want to create new tables, new structures, then you will work on DDL. So the weightage I can give is like 80% is DML, 20% is DDL, but both are important to learn. Okay, so we'll be focusing more on DML when compared to DDL. For now, as a beginner, we just have to know tables and store procedures. So you can see on the screen what's the definition of this. What does this table mean? What is the store procedure mean? Table is nothing but you will store all the data into that table. Store procedure is nothing but you are writing a sequence of commands which you can execute. When you execute a store procedure, it will be able to do all the operations that you have written inside the store procedure. So it's like a chain of commands that can execute one by one. Like let's say you are writing a repetitive query again and again, then you will have to end up writing a store procedure which can do the same thing. Instead of writing 100 lines of code, you will just execute one line of code that will do the same thing again and again. So these are the main important things that we need to keep in mind before we move on to the series. And now from now on, I'll try to keep the videos very short to the point so that we can learn each step easily. And if you want to revise also, you don't have to watch long videos. So you can quickly go to the title that you are interested in, and maybe you can focus on that part only. So we'll see you on the upcoming videos. Be sure that you've subscribed to the channel so that you can see all the updates that is going to come in the future. Thank you.